First at 11, fire tears through a Metro Atlanta apartment complex. What residents think sparked the flames.
And most types of gender-affirming health care for minors now banned in Georgia. We explain the legal challenge and how it could affect existing care.
And one Metro Atlanta community says enough is enough. We speak one-on-one with some of Fulton County's top leaders on the challenges of tackling violence.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news. 11 Alive is learning at least one person is shot at a Clayton County convenience store.
This all started unfolding minutes ago along Riverdale Road, and that's where we find our Cody Alcorn live for us this evening with the very latest. Cody?
Jennifer, Ron, I was actually just down the street less than a half mile away about to tell you guys about an apartment fire, and we heard all kinds of sirens barreling by us. We called Clayton County Police, and they led us to this QT, and this is what we found. Crime scene tape is surrounding this Volvo SUV right outside the front door of this QT. We're right off 285 next to the airport. We can confirm a person has been shot, rushed to the hospital in critical condition. No details on a possible suspect, but if you've been to a QT, you know they have security cameras everywhere on this property, so it's likely whatever happened right here in front of the store was captured on surveillance. We do know that Clayton County Police are inside right now going through that video. This QT is closed on a very busy Riverdale Road right at I-285. But again, we just got on the scene. We do know Clayton County Police working this. Their homicide team is out here. But again, at last check, this victim was still alive in critical condition. As we learn more, of course, we'll pass it along to you.
All right, Cody, thank you so much. Well, we've got some more breaking news for you this evening. We have learned in just the last hour that the driver of an emergency vehicle involved in a deadly wreck is now under arrest. We told you about this earlier this week. That crash taking place Monday along Campbellton Road, and when the ambulance crashed with an SUV. One of the victims, Sakita Mills, was an EMS employee based out of Lawrenceville, and the other was the driver of an SUV, 29-year-old Jada Watley. An attorney for the driver of that emergency vehicle says his client has turned himself in.
Happening today, the legal fight is on after Governor Brian Kemp signed off on a bill to ban most gender-affirming care for transgender kids. While supporters say it's going to protect kids, medical professionals are calling it unnecessary, and they're already coming up with workarounds. 11 Alive's John Sherrick explains.
Here's what's next. There will be a lawsuit, maybe more than one lawsuit against the state, to try to overturn the new law and legalize in Georgia once again all the medical treatments and surgeries for transgender youth that the new law bans as of July 1st. Andrea Young with ACLU Georgia.
Politicians should not be making healthcare decisions that parents, in conjunction with their physicians, are better equipped to make.
Those who support the bans will continue to argue that the bans in the new law, in their words, protect possibly confused young people from themselves. Republican Senator Ben Watson from Savannah, a physician.
But what we're doing here is we're preventing minors under 18 years old from having irreversible changes in their lives.
Physicians in Georgia who actually treat transgender youth, who prescribe hormone therapy as long as the children's parents give their consent, are evaluating what they will do, because if the bans take effect on July 1st,
we would face criminal charges for practicing medicine appropriately.
Dr. Izzy Lowell's QMed is a telemedicine practice. She tells me that about 20% of her patients are transgender youth. So after July 1st, she may offer this option to them and their parents.
If they drive out of Georgia to a state where it's legal, that we're licensed in, and we're licensed in 25 states, then we can see them for a telemedicine visit and prescribe them a legal prescription for hormone therapy.
As of now, what's next for Georgia could be the same types of lawsuits and possibly injunctions that are challenging similar bans in other states before the new law here is settled. In Atlanta, John Sherrick, 11 Alive News.
And you can read more about this new law right now online at 11alive.com.
We have got some more beautiful weather ahead, but not for long. Meteorologist Andrew Wilson in for Chris Holcomb tonight. Andrew, when are those chances of rain going to be upon us?
Yeah, Jennifer, it's going to be really Friday night into Saturday. Things are going to start to change big time. We're going to end up with a lot of rainfall for this weekend, so you got to get out and enjoy the nice weather while it's still here. It's still pretty nice out there right now. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. We look out towards Truist Park. They had the lights on a little bit earlier. It's starting to feel a lot like baseball season. We're getting very close to that. Looking out towards downtown, a lot of clear sky overhead. Beautiful shot there of the skyline. It was a stunning day with a lot of blue sky with temperatures that rose into the 80s. 68 right now, though, for Atlanta. Those temperatures are starting to fall. It's 59 in Peachtree City, 67 in Marietta. We have 69 in Rome and 69 as well in Canton. Meanwhile, Blairsville and Clayton both sitting in the upper 50s. Now, heading throughout tonight, we're just going to have a clear sky overhead. Maybe a little fog, though, at the surface when you're waking up tomorrow morning. So make sure you're giving yourself some extra time before you head out the door in the morning. We head into the afternoon, though, for tomorrow. Those temperatures rise into the lower 80s and 9 on the wazometer. And then as we head into Saturday, those storms arrive. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, Drew, see in a couple of minutes. Right now, about a dozen people are looking for a new place to live after a large fire ripped through an apartment complex in College Park.
11 Alive's Cody Alcorn spoke with residents at that complex before he headed out to breaking news.
I'm sitting there, I'm talking on the phone. As soon as I get off, I just hear a boom. So I'm like, what is that?
Deidre Hampton's best friend and neighbor, Robin Christmas, was also realizing something wasn't right.
And I could see slivers of smoke coming out the wall. And I said, oh my God, it's something burning in the wall.
Seconds later,
I see the contractors that is fixing the apartment next to me take off running.
Next door,
I hear crackling in the wall. So I run downstairs.
By the time both women got outside,
it's ghost. It is engulfed. We just hear stuff popping and everything like that. This whole thing was engulfed in flames. It's instantly on fire.
Clayton County Fire says the 911 call started coming in just after 4 p.m. Thursday. Witnesses captured the flames shooting from the building. 11 Alive Sky Tracker flew over the St. James Apartments along Riverdale Road before we were able to get on scene just before 6 o'clock. Fire ripped through the two-story building, causing it to collapse, destroying everything inside.
I lost pictures, my mama's ashes. Everything I owned was in that apartment, other than my purse and my phone that I have, and nothing. I have nothing. My husband has cancer, and we lost everything. I don't know where I'm going. I lost everything. This is all I got. This is all I got.
We are learning more tonight about a woman whose body was discovered in a patch of woods earlier this week in Athens-Clarke County. Just hours ago, we learned that police identified the body of that of 38-year-old Adriana Castaneda. She was reported missing on March 7th, and her remains were found Tuesday near Maple Forge Drive and Lavender Road. Tonight, we spoke with Margarita Hernandez, Adriana's friend and co-worker. She says that Adriana was sweet and generous and was fighting to have a better life.
We hope that her soul is with God in a better place, somewhere where she's not suffering, where she does not feel pain. We really hope that she's in a better place.
Police are waiting for the autopsy results to determine her cause of death. There is a lawsuit now filed against Cobb County commissioners, and it's coming from former Governor Roy Barnes. In a 42-page filing with Cobb County Superior Court, the former Democratic governor calls the county's zoning codes unconstitutional. The suit is tied to a request asking commissioners to rezone more than 190 acres so single-family homes could be built. That was denied by commissioners as they say the land falls too close to a floodplain, a point Barnes denies in the lawsuit. Tonight, MARTA is dialing back its initial scathing response to an audit request from the Atlanta City Council. In a meeting, leaders say they are on board with the audit and they just need time to plan how it will be conducted. Earlier this week, the Atlanta City Council approved a resolution calling for the financial review. Specifically, they want a detailed look at multi-billion-dollar plans to expand bus and rail services funded by a half-penny tax Atlantans have been paying for years. Earlier today, members of MARTA's board met to sort through plans for the audit.
I think that it should be an audit firm that perhaps we haven't used before, that the city hadn't used before, that we agree upon mutually and pay the auditing fees directly.
The council wants MARTA to formally respond to the audit request by next Wednesday.
Well, just hours ago, dozens of people who live in South Fulton spoke out at a town hall meeting to address crime and public safety as well. Now, several law enforcement leaders were there to bring some of those ideas and solutions to the table. 11
Alive's Don White is live in the city of South Fulton. Don, what did police say that they're focusing on here?
Ron and Jennifer, that meeting wrapped up just about 3 hours ago here at Friendship Community Church. Leaders, they narrowed their focus down to 3 things. That includes youth violence, the county jail, and who is patrolling the streets.
One of the biggest deterrents to crime is visibility.
But our young men and our youth, why don't we have a program to offer them for a second chance?
Those are just some of the concerns people brought up during this public safety town hall meeting.
So one of the things that we're seeing is an uptick in our juvenile-related crimes.
City of South Fulton Police Chief Keith Meadows says he often sees the same young people getting into trouble.
Myself, along with other members of the police department, have met with the governor's office to talk about some of those challenges with respects to the juvenile point system.
That system suggests a young person with 12 or more points should be arrested. Chief Meadows says the issue is each county calculates points.
If a juvenile knows that he can go in Fulton County and perpetrate crimes, if he doesn't get caught, then he goes to Cobb County, he can go to Clayton County, and in each one of those jurisdictions, the 12 points doesn't accumulate.
It's inhumane, has been so for years.
Leaders also keeping a close eye on where criminals will wind up once they're arrested. Fulton County Sheriff Patrick Labatt believes the jail, built in 1989, is outdated and too small to comfortably house inmates.
We have to build a new facility, right? That jail represents an old way of thinking, just warehousing people. We're in the process of creating an environment where we talk about mental health, we talk about reentry.
Lastly, leaders want to zero in on who they're hiring to keep everyone in line. South Fulton Councilwoman Helen Zenobia Willis plans to introduce a resolution at next Tuesday's City Council meeting banning South Fulton Police from hiring an applicant with excessive use of force violations.
We want to ensure that we make sure in our hiring practices that we set a standard for quality and not quantity.
Councilwoman Willis says she is also working with Chief Meadows in hopes of bringing back both the Citizens Police Academy and Police Athletic Association.
All right, Dawn, thank you so much. Law enforcement agencies across Georgia are incorrectly clearing some sex crimes cases without ever making an arrest. We're taking a look at the practice of exceptional clearance when we return.